Sorry, I stole your thunder.
It's fine, you stole my thunder.
Yes, happy Friday, everybody. Happy almost weekend out there.
Oh, yeah. Oops, we accidentally revealed something.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Great job. Cool. So we are here to finish up the final preview for this week, of course, for the upcoming Springblossom season. So today we are going to be going over a whole bunch of different updates to the season itself, which is why, of course, we are joined by the one and only PG Chocolate.
Hello.
Hi, hello.
And we're also going to be going over the Dragon Rider as well. So we're going to start with the season updates. I know that's been on everybody's mind for the past couple days since we've been previewing. For those of you who have been hanging out with us on Wednesday and Thursday, you got to see a little sneak preview of the upcoming dragons that will be a part of the season. We went over 2 legendary dragons and 2 mythic dragons. So this is the first time in, I think, history that we've actually shown off both mythics before the start of the season. And there's a reason for that, and that is what we're going to be talking about today. So we'll do a little bit of the season updates and talk about what is going to be coming for next week. And then we'll go over the Dragon Rider, which will also be available at the start of the season next week.
All right, cool.
Yeah. So, of course, starting things out, to introduce the season, I made a cute little haiku here.
Which I had to argue with P. Dawson falls under the category of poem.
Why?
Haiku, I said a poem.
Haiku is a poem.
And you went,
right?
But specifically it's a haiku. And
yeah.
Like, yes, but a haiku is a poem.
Well, it's like the square and rectangle thing.
Yes,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was what we went with.
Okay. Well, this haiku says, as the cold snow thaws, turn and look to brighter skies. A new day will dawn. And here we introduce the Springblossom season. Hooray! I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, you're probably most excited for it because it's all pink.
Well, and we might have spoiled what color the festive is.
Did you already?
It was not me.
Was it Carnix?
No, it was actually Lawson.
Wow, Lawson.
Yes.
We're gonna have some words with you after this.
I know.
Is pink really your favorite color?
It is actually my favorite color. That's not what I would have
picked to be your favorite color.
Really? Oh no,
I don't know.
Arlen is all about it.
It is definitely all pink. Purple is secondary and blue is like third.
Wow.
All right.
Makes sense.
So, here are some of the high-level changes that are going to happen this season.
So, a whole bunch of stuff is coming in here, and we're going to talk about everything that you see on the screen right now. So, first and foremost, we are introducing something new called Season Keys, with the concept of choose your mythic. Now, we'll go into that in just a moment, so hang on for a second.
Don't get too crazy just yet.
We're also introducing a season's buff for all active Springblossom dragons, and again, we'll go over that in just a moment. There will be more prizes just by sheer quantity. There will be more prizes in both the Legendary Dragon and Dragon Rider lines, and there will be a lower sigil cost for all Legendary Dragon lines, as well as other Legendary lines that we'll talk about, not including the Festive Dragon.
Yep.
And as well, the choice of portraits without backgrounds. This is something that we talked about on Wednesday's stream. Anytime that you obtain a portrait throughout the season, you will receive both a portrait with a background and a portrait without a background. So you have a choice of which one you would like to use. And also, finishing it up, is a new branch that's coming to the season called the Base Boost branch. So we'll be going over all of that in just a little bit as well.
If you're taking a screenshot, do so now before I move it back down.
Okay.
All right.
Great.
And we're done there.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
So week 1 is going to have the normal egg token boost, as we always do. I know my head is covering it, but it is the same that it normally is. It is the, oh god, I can't decide.
Yeah.
So these are
all of these numbers are in thousands of sigils.
Yep.
So for the egg token boost, it will be the exact same as previous seasons. 3,150 sigils will get you to the 100% egg token boost. And then 6,250 sigils, I believe, will get you to the 125% boost. Or sorry, 6,300.
Yes.
There was a number I couldn't see behind your head.
That was why I put it up over here.
Yes.
So we could see it.
So the egg token boost will remain the same. Haku, of course, is the discount dragon for the start of the season. Kaiji as well will be the other legendary that will start. And Saito, who we'll talk about in just a moment, is the first dragon rider of the season as well. So all of the legendary lines will cost 30,000 sigils in order to complete. Yep. And once they are unlocked, then you can see up above for Ronin and Zenko, which are our mythic dragons, there's a nice big fat 0 there.
Woo!
Yeah, and there's a reason for that 0, which is, of course, once the mythics are unlocked, the mythics are absolutely free.
Yes. The other thing to note as well is if and when you finish a legendary line, you get a season key at the end of it. Right. We'll go over that in a second.
We'll talk about it in just a moment.
Just as a heads up. All right. So then week 5, we are going to introduce the other warrior and the base boost branch, which again we'll talk about in a few minutes, and the other rider, which actually happens to be the Twitch Draws a rider that we did a couple weeks ago. And we just launched the contest for it this morning.
Yes, if you're interested in creating a name and a backstory for this upcoming Dragon Rider and would like to take a part of that, anybody who submits it and makes it into the top 10 voting phase of the contest will also receive prizes, both in-game and physical prizes of War Dragon swag. So if you're interested, or even if you're just trying to get some prizes, I would recommend that you take a look at wardragons.com/blog. The most recent blog over there is the contest itself, and it'll give you all the information for the prizing and the contest link and all that good stuff. And I believe Arlena is going to drop that into chat right about now. Awesome.
Bam.
Cool. So week 5, this is when the second wave of content goes live. As Arlena mentioned, the other 3 legendary branches that are underneath the mythics will go live. All 6 legendary branches are underneath the mythics this time around. So instead of doing the 2-branch sort of change where we had in the previous seasons, everything is flowing into one sort of ultimate branch, I guess.
Yeah.
So 6 legendary branches underneath, each costing 30,000 sigils, and then 3 of them will unlock the mythic at the top, which will cost 0 sigils.
So if you want to unlock both mythics, then you would need to claim all 6 legendary branches. You get both mythics.
Right.
Cool. So then week 8 is going to be the festive dragon.
Right.
Which, if you paid attention in the Facebook stream, we spoiled the color. It is a pink dragon. So
that's why
I am
so
super
happy.
excited about this dragon. I have been excited about it since I saw the artwork 2 months ago or 3, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty great.
So let's jump into some season keys.
All right. So season keys are going to be a really important addition to this season. They are the whole reason that you can unlock a mythic. You want to go over it, Chocolate?
I can go over this. So basically, once you complete 1 legendary branch of your choosing, you will get 1 season key. And you can collect 3 season keys using any of the 6 legendary branches you choose. And once you get 3 season keys, you can unlock a mythic of your choosing. And once you unlock the mythic, the branch is completely free. In the branch, there will be the runes and the dragon and the evolution stones. So again, just to recap, it's 6 legendary lines. You can unlock any 3. You can complete any 3 of them to unlock either one of the mythics.
Right.
If you collect 2 mythics throughout the season, you will get exclusive items. I don't know if it's gonna be building reskin as of right now. But
we're hoping for it.
There'll be a bundle of exclusive in-game goods, as well as a bundle of resources. So yeah, that's super exciting.
Yeah. So would you mind going back to the season structure for a moment?
Yeah. So to complete a mythic, you don't need to complete 6 lines. You need to complete 3 lines, and it'll unlock either of the mythics.
Right. So what Chocolate is trying to say here is, you see these legendary lines above us, all the ones that cost 30,000 sigils. So take the festive out of there, pretend that doesn't exist, because the festive is not a part of the lines itself.
By festive.
Any of these 6 lines, so Haku, Kaiji, Saito, the upcoming warrior, the base boost branch, or the second dragon rider, all 6 of these have season keys at the end of their branches. You need 3 of the season keys, so you need to complete 3 lines in order to unlock either Ronin or Zenko. And you have a choice once you get there which one you would like to unlock. So if you're interested in Ronin for the hunter or Zenko as the sorcerer, this is where you can make that choice.
Yep.
Yeah. So I guess a little bit deeper into the numbers, but yes, it will be 90,000 sigils to complete a mythic versus 87,000 sigils in the current season. But for this $3,000 sigil increase, we've doubled the amount of timers in the rider branches. We've increased the timers in the legendary branches by 50%. As well, we increased the amount of elemental embers in all the branches by at least 30-40%. I don't remember the number off. I think it's actually 50%. So There will be a lot more prizes for the 3,000 sigil increase.
Right. So we'll go over a little bit of that as well, but if you're looking for specifics as to what prizes are explicitly increasing in all of these branches, you will also have that information on the blog that is coming next Tuesday. So we're going to put out all that information. You can see a direct comparison between the last season and this season as to how many things are increasing and what they are specifically.
Cool. Okay, so the seasons buff is going to be also a new thing this season that Chocolate will talk about.
Yeah, so this is another feature we're really excited about. We know, when you get a new season dragon, it is kind of tedious to level your dragon up and catch up to the level you need it to be. So for the duration of the season, if you purchase or claim one of the Springblossom dragons, for the entirety of the season, they'll have a season buff, which is 50% increase of XP earned in every battle and a 95% reduction in total time to heal before the next flight. I think that comes to about 14 or 15 minutes for most of the dragons compared to, I think it was like 4 or 5 hours.
Right. Yep.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll make the Springblossom dragons a lot more fun to fly, and you get to fly them more often.
Yep. So this is an automatic update once you obtain literally any Springblossom dragon. So it does not matter which dragon it is. Any of the Springblossom dragons will automatically receive this season's buff. It will be active for the duration of the season. So once the Springblossom season ends, then the buff itself will also end. But being said, all the Springblossom dragons for the duration of the season, every single time they're in battle, no matter what run you're making, no matter who you're attacking, no matter what it is for, every single battle you'll get that 50% increase of XP.
That's right.
And also for heal times, it goes down by 95%, which is pretty significant.
It's definitely huge.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So, prices in the legendary branches. So pretty much everything is increasing. There are going to be increased gold chests, increased elemental embers, increased breeding tokens, increased rune dust, increased mystic fragments, and increased 12-hour timers. So basically everything in the branch is going to get a much larger amount.
Right.
Which is great.
Yeah. So as Chocolate was mentioning earlier, we've sort of flattened it out so that every single legendary line that has a season's key at the end of it costs 30,000 sigils. So this will be a change between the 87 versus 90, as she was mentioning. But the reason for that, of course, those extra 3K sigils are coming from all of these extra prizes that you're getting here. So this is true for every single legendary dragon branch outside of the festive, and it will increase in all of these items above. Just by sheer numbers, they will increase. Yeah. So you're going to be receiving more of these throughout the season branch.
All right. So in rider branches, the big change to rider branches this season is actually going to be that we are including crafting scrolls and crafting shards to go along with the fact that we just opened up gear crafting to everyone in the game yesterday.
Yeah.
So this will be one way for people to easily get shards and as well, everything in the Dragon Rider branches will also be increased. So gold chests, elemental embers, breeding tokens, and timers will be increased from what their current levels are.
Right.
And then crafting shards and scrolls. But be aware, in the specific rider branches, there will not be every shard that you want. It will be a choice between a few elements.
So shards and scrolls are essentially replacing gear, since there is no real need to have gear in them, since everything is now craftable. So the way that it works is when you come to a prize that will have a crafting shard, you will have a choice of one of 3 different element shards that you can choose from. So if you're really interested in building out, let's say, a wind set, for example, and wind is one of the elements that can be chosen for the shards, then you can choose that specific set of shards and then, of course, have things be specifically, working towards your own goals of which gear you would like to craft. So we're trying to definitely open it up and make it much more of a season where you have a lot more choice over the different things that you'll receive.
Cool. All right. So
the base boost branch. Yes.
Woo!
So we're going to talk a little high level on this one, since the base boost branch does not come until week 5 of the Springblossom season. So it's going to take a little bit of time before we actually see this branch in the game. But to give you an idea of what you can expect, it will be basically increasing the overall base viability. So it'll increase the base's defense, by way of different things that are in the branch. Chocolate, you probably have more details on this than I do, actually.
Yeah, so basically the base boost branch is for players who, instead of wanting a dragon to go towards the mid, they want to actually buff up their base. The boost will last for 3 months from the time we launch it, so it will last into week 5 of the summer season. And basically it will increase the HP and attack of your entire base for that duration. And imagine throughout the branch, there'll be different checkpoints where you collect, plus 3%, plus 4%, and then it becomes a summation of all the different boosts you claim during the branch.
Cool, sweet. And of course, the base boost branch is considered a legendary branch. It will have a season's key at the end of the line, so completing the base boost branch will also get you closer to unlocking a mythic. We'll talk more about it in our previews at the end of March. Right before the Wave 2 stuff comes up. So keep an eye out for that. We'll talk more about it then. And in the meantime, just know that it exists and it is coming as a part of the season. All right. So we've now gone through all of the updates for the season structure and the season changes. We will return to this after we do a little preview of Saito, our first Dragon Rider. So if you have any questions, please, hold on for like 5 more minutes. And
we've also got all the questions. We've got a bunch of the questions like in a separate sheet too. So hopefully we've grabbed everyone.
Right. So we'll go through Saito, and then after that, feel free to ask us questions. If you want us to review something that we already went over, let us know as well, and we'll be happy to explain it. I know that it's a lot of information. It's a big change for the season, but we're pretty excited about it, so happy to answer any questions.
Cool. All right, so Saito is going to be our blind samurai.
Yes, blind swordsman.
Sorry, blind swordsman.
He is a samurai, though.
But technically he's a samurai.
Totally.
But anyways, so
this is Saito. He will be the first Dragon Rider of the season, an offensive one as well. And Saito's skills are going to increase Dragon HP, Dragon Attack, Dragon Training Cost, and a new one to the offensive Dragon Rider list, which is
Hunter Ammo.
Hunter Ammo.
So if you happen to have a rider from the Atlas season, then you would be very familiar with Hunter Ammo as an option. So this is one that we are slowly moving over to our Dragon Riders in the regular season as well.
Yeah, so Hunter Ammo will be coming as a part of Saito's skills, in addition to the other normal offensive Dragon Rider skills that you have come to expect.
Ooh, all right, let us hop into Saito's portrait.
Yes. All right, so just like all the other Dragon Riders, Saito will have his own portrait available in the season. As mentioned before, anytime that the portraits are obtained, you'll get both the version with a background and version without. So Saito over here will start with the version 1 of this portrait. You can sort of see here, he's a lot more simple than the other portrait we showed before. Thinner band-aid on his, not band-aid, bandana. I don't know what I did. That's whatever. A gigantic band-aid across his face.
Oh, man.
So yeah, a little thinner one, and of course like a little more simplistic in nature. And as the portraits evolve, you can see he's got more of his sword here, definitely getting more embellishments on the outfit itself.
I'm just very confused why he starts with a very small band covering
and then it just keeps
and
going.
Then it gets bigger and bigger as he goes. That feels very odd.
We should ask Karnix about that.
I feel like we should, because then it just gets a whole bunch of them everywhere.
Yeah, because then it just goes all out. You can see like it's sort of like grown a mind of its own and like it's evolving
like,
out of his
we're
eyes.
Here.
So yes, this is the final version of the portrait, and Saito will also have an animated portrait as well.
Cool. And then just as a reminder for portraits this season, yes, you will get the option of having no background versus background, but that does not apply to the animated portrait. The animated portrait will have the background. There's a weird thing around it.
Also, it's not the option. You will just automatically claim both.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Cool. And then finishing it up are the craftable rider shards for Saito. Please note, we put a picture here of Saito's gear. This is more just like a nice little aesthetic thing. Saito doesn't really have gear in his branch based on what we were talking about a little bit earlier. So in replacement of gear, it's going to be the craftable rider shards like we mentioned. And specifically for Saito's branch, you will have a choice every time that you get to Rider Shards to choose between Dark, Wind, or Ice element shards. So any of these can be chosen whenever you make it to that prize in the branch. And then, of course, hopefully, all of this will culminate in whatever gear you would like to actually forge yourself in.
Yep.
Forge in the Forge.
Forge in the Forge.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So we definitely have some questions.
Totally.
I'm going to
am
toss
not surprised.
week 8 back up.
Yeah, so let's talk about all of this.
Okay, so let's see. So does the Mythic have any prizes, or is it just a claimable dragon and stones?
So again, the Mythic branch will have the runes, Epic, Legendary, and Mythic, as well as the dragon and the evolution stones. It will not contain any other prizes, such as timers, etc. We have moved all that out to the legendary branches.
Yep. So think of it as like front loading onto the legendary branches, and then the mythics will have just their runes, just their evolution stones, but they will come at no cost.
Also, I think the combination of all the prizes will still be greater than the prizes in the mythic branch this season plus the legendary branches. No discounted riders. There will be no discounted rider this season, as both the riders will build into the mythics. We will consider and think about bringing it back if it's outside of the mythic structure in a future season.
Yeah, the only discount for the Springblossom season will be Haku, which is the warrior that'll be available next week.
Cool. Let's see. Will Black Pearls still be available in a Dragon Riders branch?
There's no... We've taken the Black Pearls out in lieu of putting in more embers and more timers. If that's a concern, we will consider putting it in other branches, such as maybe the base boost branch, if it's something players really want.
All right. Do the shards to hire the rider still... Are they going to still be on page 1, or are they mixed?
They are mixed throughout the branch.
All right. Will the boost from the base boost branch be visible to attackers hitting that base?
Good question.
Yes, it will be visible. It will be visible just like any other boost you apply to your base right now via consumables. I think it'll look very similar.
Yeah, there is also an indication for the season's buff as well for your dragons. So every time that you fly the dragons, and also in your roster, you will see an icon that indicates that they have a season's buff applied to them.
That's right.
Yep. Okay, let's see. All 6 on the bottom line, do they have a key each? So yes, every single one of these lines, so Haku, Kaiji, Saito,
all of this,
the warrior, the base boost, and the Twitch rider will all have a season's key at the end of their line. You must complete the entire line to get that season's key, but it does exist at the end of each line.
Exactly. So those are the 6. 3 will get you 1 choice of mythic. The other 3 will get you the second mythic. If you do get both mythics, then you'll also get a super exclusive prize at the end of it. That is no cost.
Will the keys be available in the future, and can they only be passed through future seasons? So the key is only applicable to this season.
Right. It's just like sigils. The season key for the Springblossom season will only unlock the mythics of the Springblossom season. So if you get 2 keys and then the season ends, those keys cannot be used. The keys will sort of reset at the end of the season.
Okay. Let's see. Haku is 15k sigils during
with
the discount. Yes. What color will these dragon eggs be? They will be Empyrean.
Yeah, all of these
like purpley blue that's there.
Exactly. Yeah. All these little purpley stones at the end of all the dragon lines. That is the symbol for the Empyrean evolution stone. So all of them will go up to Empyrean level.
Let's see.
Will all the dragons be available from week 1? So right now we're seeing the entire structure by itself. Week 1 is going to have the top 3 on the left over here. So Haku, Kaiji, and Saito, as well as both mythics, which will start being available at the very start of the season.
So the only dragons not available at the start of the season are... Oops, sorry. Wrong thing.
It's cool.
All right. There we go. So the only dragons not available week 1 are going to be the legendary warrior, slightly above Crisis's head, and then the festive, which will come out week 8.
Right.
So the only dragon not available at the start of the season that will build into a mythic is that warrior. Will sigil chests be available at the end of spring season? Probably.
Likely.
It's so far.
It's yeah.
The end of spring season is
yeah.
so far away. We haven't even started spring season yet.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that is not there.
We'll keep over. Got that. Yep. Any defensive riders? Yes. So Saito is an offensive rider. The Twitch rider, I'm pretty sure, is going to be defensive.
I think
so that is the plan so far for her. Yes, the season keys are at the end of the branches, so they will be obtained at the very end. It's like the last prize that you can claim, and then you'll have one of the 3 season keys that you'll need to unlock a mythic.
So yes, you need to complete 3 of the branches to complete a mythic, to unlock the mythic. And then the mythic has no cost associated with its actual branch.
Mm-hmm. If anyone wants to see a deep dive into Haku, Kaiji, Ronin, and Zenko, we also previewed that on Wednesday and Thursday of this week.
Yes.
On Wednesday, it was on War Dragon's Twitch channel, and then on Thursday, it was on the War Dragon's Facebook page. So if you're interested in seeing those dragons before next week, take a look at those archive streams, and you can get an idea of what they're going to be like.
Okay. Can we make it so that we can move the dragon perch like a tower?
Interesting.
I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we can ask engineers who would better know if that's a thing.
It seems unlikely, but who knows?
Why are there no keys for the egg token or festive lines?
Because they cost a different amount of sigils.
Yes.
The egg token boost has always been its own separate branch. It only takes 6,300 sigils to complete the branch. All the other ones that have season keys will be 30,000 sigils. And the festive is always meant to be its own thing as sort of like the fun dragon of the season. So it never really has been a part of the other branches in the season.
So the base boost will not be forever. It will last through week 5, correct? Of summer season?
Yeah, that's correct. It'll last exactly 3 months from the time it's launched.
Right. So the base boost will start in week 5 of the spring season, which is the first week of April. And that means that you will, if you obtain the base boost, then you will have that boost on your base from the beginning of April to the beginning of July? Right? That's 3 months? I can do math.
That's
right.
Yeah,
sure.
That's right.
April, May, June,
That's
July?
Right. That's right.
June? No, July. The very beginning. Like the very, very beginning of July. Yeah.
All right. Let's see. The egg token boost will remain the same. It'll still be the 100 and the 125%.
Right.
Why do we split the streams up between sites? If we didn't, our stream on one stream would be like 3 hours long. And I don't think anyone wants to sit through 3 hours.
Definitely not. Not only would it be 3 hours long, but we really have to accommodate people like Chocolate and Carnix and Lawson, who have like a very busy work schedule outside of streaming. So we always are trying to accommodate everybody.
Let's see. Roughly how many crafting shards will be in the rider lines? Will it be comparable to an elite Atlas line, or only enough to craft some basic gear? All the details about what will be in the rider branches specific to crafting scrolls and crafting shards will be in the blog on Tuesday.
Do you pay sigils for the season keys, or can you skip them to save sigils? If you have gotten all the way through a branch and your last prize to claim is a season's key, I would highly recommend you claim that.
It's basically the last prize. So the last evolution stone, for example, of a legendary dragon line will have the Empyrean evolution stone and a season key.
Right. So it comes as a combo.
Yeah.
Right. The season's key is sort of like the tack-on. Right. Exactly.
To make sure you don't forget it, we put it together with the last.
Which is a good idea. And honestly, if you make it all the way to the end of the branch, you deserve to get that season's key because it will help you unlock a mythic. Without it, it's almost as if you didn't really complete it.
Let's see. Okay. Painful lack of female portraits this season. I mean, there are.
So the second rider is a The second Dragon Rider is a female, and some of the upcoming portraits in the legendary branches for Wave 2 will be female portraits.
Yep. There are female portraits.
We're just a little dude heavy in the beginning.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
It's funny because we definitely hear feedback all the time, and Carnix and I were talking about this yesterday after stream, that if we don't have a ton of male portraits, we hear about not having male portraits, but then if we don't have any female portraits, we hear the same. We were joking that we should like a weird thing.
I think we should. I would love to see animal portraits. Great. What is the egg token boost? The egg token boost is something that exists in every single season. It gives you a percentage buff for every single egg token that you receive through the time that it is active, which is the duration of the season. I would recommend, if you're going for the egg token boost, try to get it early in the season. That means that you'll get the full benefit of it throughout the entire season, instead of waiting until halfway through and then you only get the benefit for the half of the season.
Let's see.
Do we need to get all branches for the Mythic Dragon? No. So for anybody tuning in at this point, I would say try and take a look at the archive stream once we finish up here. Hopefully it'll help understand the way that the structure is working. But basically, any of these 6 lines up here that are connected to Ronin and Zenko, you only need to complete 3 of those lines in order to unlock one of the mythics. And one of the mythics is your choice. So if you have those 3 season keys, you can choose which mythic you would like to obtain. So you can either choose Ronin or Zenko.
Okay, let's see. Will the base boost have a portrait?
No, it will not have a portrait.
Yeah, portraits are only specific to legendary dragons and dragon riders.
Let's see. Add another line in the token boost that gives us 2.
Yeah, that was because of a fluke thing that happened the other season, so it
was compensation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, we're trying to read, and not 2/3 of us are blind, so.
Not wrong.
Why are the spell details not released when the dragons are released? We don't usually give the spell details because sometimes on the streams, because sometimes they are going through last final passes to make sure that we are absolutely comfortable, and if there's any last minute passes that need to happen with the GTF or anybody else, then that way we give ourselves time to make changes as need be. But they will be on the blog on Tuesday.
Right. All of the information, including like specifics. So, you know, all of the different prizes that are being introduced into the legendary lines and the Dragon Rider lines, the increase in prizes, the season keys, an explanation of how to choose your mythic, all of that stuff is going to be in the blog next week.
Okay. So
no, there is not a legendary hunter in this season. Right now we have 1 warrior and 1 sorcerer for the legendaries that will be available starting next week. And then the mythics this time around are going to be 1 hunter and 1 sorcerer.
So you can claim 2 dragons in the egg bonus or the mythic. No. The egg token bonus and the festive dragon are outside of the line to be able to claim the mythic. So in our picture, how there is a line across there and it looks like a family tree going up to the mythics, those are all of the legendary branches that you can use to get to a mythic. Right. The egg token boost and the festive don't have a line to the family tree. They're outside of the family.
They're like a long lost cousin.
Their cousin twice removed.
Yeah.
Can we go to the week 8 slide and move it up? Sure. I see you, Forsyth.
Yeah, I see you. See what you're doing here.
Uh-oh.
You got it, you got it.
Okay,
yeah.
I was like, did I unlock the right one? I can also do... Okay, that might be as good as I can get it, unless I duck, which I can do.
Nah, it's fine. All right, take your screenshots.
Take your screenshot. This is uncomfortable. Cool.
All right,
okay.
great.
Will there ever be an owl portrait? I would like an owl portrait. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I dig owls.
Is breeding
cool.
next? Let's see.
Will sigils from event prizes increase? I don't know. I don't know if we have any plans for that, but find out as the season begins.
We will not be showing the dragons on this stream. We will be showing them off on all of our streams next week. Let's see. Should have put a pet portrait in base boost. Would that pet live on your base? Should come with a pet.
Yeah.
A little tiger.
Yeah.
Or something. So for people who are tuning in, there is no gear in rider branches anymore. There will be crafting scrolls and crafting shards of 3 elements. There will not be all 5 crafting element shards in there.
But those elements,
within the season, through 2 riders, you will have 4 of the 5 elements.
Right, I was gonna say the element choices do change between dragon riders. Yeah. So as we mentioned a little bit earlier, Saito will have a choice of either dark, wind, or ice crafting shards. But that is not to say that those same 3 elements will be a part of the second dragon rider branch.
Okay, let's see. Are we still gonna have feeding events? Yes, we are still gonna have feeding events. Yeah. Will there be any new events this season? No. Unfortunately, no. We've been doing some tweaking of events and making all of the UI and ability for it to move better.
Right.
We've been working on that.
For anyone who wants to see a preview of the dragons that we showed off on Wednesday and Thursday streams, please go to the War Dragons channels on Twitch and Facebook, and you will find the archive streams there. We are not going over the dragons today.
All right, let's.
Anything? I know there's a lot of questions.
So yes, technically, if you do not take advantage of the discount dragon, it would be 90k sigils to claim a mythic, which yes, this season was 87k. But if you do take advantage of the discount dragon, it does end up being less than claiming. But you also get significantly more prizes for that 90k.
Right.
I see you in there, Mech. I also see for science.
Keys will not carry over across seasons. They are just like sigils. They will only be available for the current active season. So at the end of the Springblossom season, if you have season keys that you have not used, they cannot be used for the next season. That's it.
Okay.
Base boost is for boosting your base. The base boost will give you plus, what was it, HP and attack?
Yeah.
HP and attack percentages basically for your base. If you receive those buffs from the base boost branch, that will carry over into the middle of the summer season as a way to just make sure that you have the full use of those 3 months with the boost.
Will there ever be further discounting on breeding tiers? We've talked about it before. Right now, no, but we are not saying no or yes at this time. Okay, let's see. Oh dear. Okay. So base boosts are the only things that will technically carry over to the next season.
Just the boost itself.
The boost. Only the boost.
Right.
So the boosted aspect of your base will carry over to week 5 of summer season, which is about July. Is that what we came up with?
The very beginning of July, since the base boost will go live at the very beginning of April. So that gives you the full 3 months.
there are no more Ice and Fire shards in the Legendary and the Rider lines. They have been replaced with Elemental Embers. You can still get them in the base boost branch as a form of a choice. I believe the design of the branch right now will have somewhat. If you want Ice and Fire shards, you will be able to get them through the base boost branch. Otherwise, they have been exchanged for Elemental Embers.
All right. Could we bring back the assault event?
Maybe, but it's not really on our
As far as I remember, as far as I remember, a lot of the older events, like the assault event, King of the Hill, and a couple of other ones, were built on what our engineers like to call spaghetti code. And to bring those back or to revamp them would actually take more time than it would to build an entirely new event from scratch. Tempo Raid took less time to build than it would have taken our engineers to rebuild King of the Hill, just for reference. This is a conversation we have with engineers all the time.
Yeah. Cool.
Feel like that might be everything.
For anybody who does have further questions, I mean, definitely take a look at the archive stream of this. It'll probably give you the answer to most of your questions. We did a pretty good job at like thoroughly explaining it before. So, you know, if you need to take a recap, definitely take a look at the archive video.
Yes. Cool. I think is ever. Okay. Cool. Anyone else have any?
I think that's it on my end.
All right.
Well,
cool.
thanks, Chocolate, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
This was super informative. A very like gigantic update stream, which I know a lot of people will probably be continuing to process. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask us on the forums.
Yep.
We will try our best to respond to you there. And as a reminder, all of this information in full detail will be posted next Tuesday on our blog. So if there's anything that you're asking for specifics or spells or anything about the prizes and all that good stuff, all of that will be revealed on Tuesday. So be excited for the weekend because there's a lot going on next week.
There's a lot of info in that blog.
Yep.
We can definitely say that confidently. As
it's one of the biggest blogs we've made.
It's definitely one of our longest ones.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Cool.
So we will see everyone next week. Next week on all of our streams, we will be we will be playing through the dragons and showing off Saito as well. So make sure to tune in. We will be doing all 3 streams next week. Cool. So have a great weekend, everyone, and we will see you all next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.